Welcome back, Rack Pack. Rackender here, bringing you episode 10 of Road to King of Games. Today we'll be looking at the vampire archetype for the climb in today's video. Vampires are a zombie archetype, and honestly they're pretty fun. They have a lot of kind of messing with the graveyard and summoning each other from the graveyard and all that stuff. And of course, as you might expect from the term vampire, we'll be doing a lot of life point healing and life point draining. They kind of play off of each other in terms of, sacrificing life points to start your plays, and then having ways in order to also gain those life points back. It's a very risky deck because, especially with Duel Links having only 4,000 life points, a lot of our effects do require us to get pretty low. So it can be a very risky archetype to play. You have to really understand your resources and cards to play them optimally. So anyway, let's go ahead talk about today's deck. We do have most of these cards are from a single mini box. That is, if we look at how to obtain, it's the Empire of Scarlet mini box. I do believe everything here. Never mind. Resonance of Contrast mini box is where Vampire Grace is from. So you do have to kind of put in a little bit. She is a rare, so that's a lot easier to obtain. Vampire Vamp is also in the main Vampire box. All of the spells are in the Vampire box as well, so you don't have to really worry about them. The field spell I can guarantee is, because this is where they brought all the support from. I think Vampire Grimson, yep, he's also from it as well. So yeah, most of these vampire cards, with the exception of Grace, you can obtain from that vampire, that one box. You do want Grace in this deck. She's pretty important, so I would highly recommend grabbing her. Again, she's only a rare, so hopefully it doesn't take too long. We do have an ultra rare of Unknown Synchron as well. This is from leveling up Yusuke. I think that's Yusuke. The main character of 5Ds, I believe it's Yusuke. And then finally, we top it off with Samurai Skull. He's the only odd man out. You get him from the Generation Next big box. So he was a little tougher to grab. But since he's only a rare, I feel like it's I can throw him in here, and he's pretty important to the deck. Like, you need Samurai Skull to kind of make this work. Otherwise, it's just not that great. So let's go ahead and talk about what vampires do. Vampires rely on Retainer and Familiar. These two cards have a lot of cool little effects that we will be using in order to doing our engine. These are the two engine of the deck in order to get our monsters to our hand and to the field. So Vampire Familiar and Retainer have similar effects in that when they are special summoned, you can pay 500 life points to add a monster for Familiar or a spell and trap for Retainer. This is where that sacrificing effect comes into play. You're going to be using these two primarily to sacrifice your life points and search out your deck. And then both of them, if they're in your graveyard, you can send one vampire from your hand or face up on the field to special summon them. And then of course they can activate those effects. If you have other ways to special summon them as well, you will be able to activate their effects. So, for example, one of the good ways to play this deck is with Parry Knights. Parry Knights is a hand trap that you can summon him whenever you take battle damage, and then it will let you summon your Familiar or Retainer, and then they'll activate their effects to start your searches. So he is from a separate big box, and he is a super rare from the Warriors, so I figured, I'm not going to throw him in this deck. And I think we've, managed to make it look pretty alright without him anyway. So let's go ahead and, whenever they activate those graveyard effects as well, they do get banished when they leave the field. So these are the two like big core of the deck, so you do want to have both copies of them, because otherwise it's really difficult to maintain the consistency. We do have one copy of Vampire Vamp. This card is very good. Whenever she gets normal summoned, she gets to suck up your opponent's monster and equip it to her if they have 2,000 or more attack. I believe it's 2,000. Who's higher than this card. So I don't think you could do it with 2,000 attack. I think that means you have to have the 2,000 or more than 2,000 attack. Because it doesn't say, it says it's higher than this card. and not higher or greater than or equal to. But she does then gain the attack of that equipped monster. So if you steal a Blue Eyes White Dragon, she gains 3,000 attack, putting her at a hefty 5k attack points. Very easy to just like take over a match by getting a nice vampire vamp play and just stealing your opponent's monster. And then you can actually if this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped with the monster, you can special summon this card from the graveyard. So she's pretty nice, really nice beater to, you know, get out on the field and all that stuff. The other engine of the deck that I probably should have mentioned, you know, before that is Samurai Skull. When this card is normal summoned, you can send one zombie type monster from your deck to the graveyard. So that's the main way with these cards. With Samurai Skull, we'll be sending one of these two cards. Unfortunately, the deck was really good, so, you know, Samurai Skull is now nerfed to 2. There is another one that you can use, Gozuki. Gozuki is during your main phase, so it's a little bit different. This card will happen, whereas Gozuki could get floodgated before you can activate his effect, so there's a little bit of a slight disparity there, but Gozuki is really good. The modern builds of this deck do run 3 Gozuki, but of course this is budget, so I only have 1. It's still an ultra rare in a big box that's not even close to vampires, so, you know, Crimson Kingdom, I guess technically there's some vampire cards in there, but all of them are trash. So if you have more copies of Gozuki, definitely throw them in here. You could probably replace many other cards as well. So yeah, you'll be sending these cards. Additionally, if this card leaves the field because of a card effect, you can also special summon one level 4 or lower type zombie monster from your deck. So if they try to get rid of your Samurai Skull other than by battle, you'll be able to do some extra summoning, which is really nice, very powerful. Having those like floating effects is what we call them, to replace itself when it leaves the field. Very powerful in Yugioh. We also have, so we do have 2 copies of the Vampire Kingdom's field spell. All zombie type monsters gain 500 attack during damage calculation only, and then once per turn when a card is sent from your opponent's deck to the graveyard, you can target one card in the field, send a dark monster or dark vampire monster, and destroy it. So basically all of your monsters are dark vampires, so that's kind of, you know, whatever. You're just going to be sending them to the graveyard and then you get to destroy the card. This will be comboed with Vampire Grace. Vampire Grace, while on the field, you can choose monster, spell, or trap, and then your opponent must send one of those types to the graveyard. And then whenever they get, you know, whenever they send that type to the graveyard, this will activate your Vampire Kingdom. The kingdom will then, of course, you can target a monster on the field or a card on the field and just destroy it. So this is the real synergy, or like the real power of the deck, is to bring out your Vampire Grace, start sending your opponent's deck to the graveyard, and then of course you get to pop stuff on their field with the kingdom. So really good stuff there. Vampire's Desire has a couple of effects. You can special summon a monster from your graveyard, and then, or you can target one monster you control and then send a card from your deck to the graveyard, a vampire monster from your deck to the graveyard with a level different than the monster on the field, and then they gain that level. So if you have Vampire Familiar, you can send, or you can activate this card targeting the Familiar, and then of course you can send the Retainer from the deck to the graveyard. This is basically added synergy in order to make up for not having Gozuki in the deck. Really nice card there. Vampire Domain, this is another one of the main combo pieces. Once we start getting our plays together, we do have to rely on a normal summon. The nice thing about this card is you could pay 500 life points to normal summon a vampire monster in addition to your normal, regular normal summon. So that's the thing that we'll be relying on in order to, like, we'll pop, you know, Samurai Skull, send the Familiar, use the Familiar to special summon itself, search the Grace, pop the Domain, and then we'll activate this for 500 more life points, and then we'll be able to now special summon normal summon the Grace alongside of our normal summon Samurai Skull. And then finally we do have Vampire Takeover. This card allows us to activate one of our field spells directly from our deck. We have to have no card in the field zone, and all face-up monsters have to be zombie-type monsters. And then you can activate this. Additionally, if you have a vampire in your graveyard, you can special summon one of those monsters. This is a really powerful trap. A lot of the turn 1 plays, if you go first, will be Retainer. We'll be trying to get Retainer in order to have a takeover on your turn. And that's pretty much the deck. We do have 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone to deal with a little bit of back row, and then we do have 1 Unknown Synchron. One of the new cards that is in the new box is Red Eye Zombie Necro Dragon. I thought it would be kind of interesting if we could maybe get him to the field a couple of duels, so I thought I'd throw them in here. Additionally, Unknown Synchron is really useful because you can special summon it from your hand if your opponent has if you have no cards and your opponent has a monster. This will allow us to tribute stuff like Grace or Grimson. Forgot to mention Grimson, 2000 attack, pretty nice card, 5-star monster. And basically, he can protect all of the monsters on your side of the field by paying life points. A second effect of Vampire Domain that I forgot to mention as well is all of your battle that you inflict, if you do it with a vampire monster, you gain that life point. So this is kind of the way that we heal ourselves up after, activating all of these effects that pay life points. Because we'll be activating a ton of life point paying effects, we are going to run Switcheroo. This is a really powerful Bandit Keith skill, allowing us to send 1 card from our hand back to the deck and trying to get out a different card. Synergizes incredibly well with Vampires and Cosmic Cyclone, as will pretty much guarantee that we can get a Switcheroo on our first turn even. So pretty powerful. I think there's some other trap cards that you can play that send cards from your opponent's deck to the graveyard. This is pretty nice if you want to make plays or make those types of plays on your opponent's turn in order to destroy stuff. So those are definitely very viable cards that you could look into. But this is pretty much the core of the deck. You can mix it up a little bit. None of these are pretty much set in stone, but it's pretty good. So we're going to go ahead, save the deck, and start a couple of duels with this. Not enter the tag tournament, we want to go into some duels. After this video, I'm probably going to pick out a couple of decks that I want to dedicate the grind towards. We're going to start, the ladder will reset soon, so we might get a couple of fun duels with some other decks that we can do. But in terms of, once we hit gold again, I do want to start actually putting more effort into the actual grind of getting King of Games. I've been kind of slacking around here, just playing these suboptimal decks in terms of climbing. Of course, the meta has shifted quite heavily, so we do want to try and pick up some of those better, more powerful decks. Alright, so we do have our Cosmic Cyclone in our opening hand. We're going to activate it. Just make sure that we just destroy, make whatever this is. Treacherous Trap Hole. Holy crap, that is really nice. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to summon the Retainer. Hard summon the Retainer. We're going to Vampire Desire this. We're going to target 1 face-up monster. Target this. They're going to send the Familiar to the graveyard. We're going to make a pretty strong Grace play here. So we're going to send the Familiar. This will allow us to... I'm going to send this card to the graveyard, because we don't need it. I don't think we want this. And then yes, we're going to hit yes. And search our Grace. And then I'm going to activate Vampire's Domain, pay 500 more life points, and normal summon the Grace. So unfortunately we do not have our... a better play here would be to summon or tribute the Retainer, and then we can activate Retainer's effect to summon it itself from the graveyard, and we can send this to the graveyard as a payment, and then we can search our field spell. Probably a stronger play there. We're going to select monster cards here. I want him to send a monster card, and then we're going to swing into this. Hopefully it's nothing too big. Ooh, yeah, Cyber Dart Cannon. That's probably a Bacon Saver. Oh, what the? Never mind, that is a Blast Spider. Yeah, this is the... Oh man. I don't know if we'll be able to deal with this. Yeah, so that was a misplay on my part. I needed to open up real hard. But again, yeah. Now he's gonna Desperado. Yep. Oh man, the Desperado stuff is so powerful. I think that's game. I don't think we can win. Yeah, we lose. Oh, he's gonna keep going? Are you for real? We needed to pop off even harder. Desperado would not have activated. Yeah, we needed to get the field spell out. I could have got the field spell out on that turn. So that was a huge misplay. I needed to tribute the Retainer instead of the Familiar to summon my monster, and then activate Retainer from the graveyard, paying 500 more life points to get the field spell to the field. Because we definitely needed to pop that face down. Ooh, that's rough. Yeah, these new decks are pretty strong. Like the Desperado stuff, like this deck is so insane. If this wasn't a free-to-play like budget to King of Games build, I would probably have bought the structured deck and played it. It's just so powerful. Like these two cards in particular are just so good, and then Desperado by itself is just so good. It's just such a good deck. Really powerful. So that's rough. We got destroyed by that first duel, but it'll be fine. We'll hopefully get a couple of wins here. I don't want to. I think vampires are good, and I think they're still good. So I don't want to only lose. They are a pretty hard deck to get the hang of, though. You do have to. I think I'm going first. Yeah. So here's the Samurai Skull play. So we'll do the Samurai Skull, and then we will send the Retainer. And then we'll special summon the Retainer by sending the Retainer in our hand. So we'll have an option to play it. And then this will, of course, we'll search out the Takeover. I'm going to set the Desire to make sure that he doesn't like immediately snipe it, and then we'll end our turn. So this is the normal, really strong turn 1 play. Really got to make sure that we get the Takeover, and this will bring out the field spell. I should have prioritized bringing out the field spell in the last duel. That was a big misplay on my part. Field spell is what carries this deck pretty much, so it is really important to get that out if you can. So, Alchemist of Black spell. Don't know what he's planning here. Is he just gonna swing? That'd be kind of silly. I hope he's got more stuff to do. Power of the Guardians. Ooh, I don't like that. I do not like that. Power of the Guardians. This is a really powerful equip spell. If you want some free wins, find this. Pick up this equip spell. I don't remember which box it's from, but it's a normal card. It's actually really good. Like the fact that they gave us a normal card that's this strong, I think is really nice. Pretty. Oh, can he? Once per turn chain. Oh, he's just gonna put. He's playing this super defensively. Okay, I see. Playing this super defensively. We should be able to win this though, and then we can activate. We can special summon this. We'll activate its effect. So we'll search out. In case he gets rid of it, I think we should search out the Kingdom. So that'll be good. So we'll have an option if he gets rid of that. Let's see, another Desire. That's what we're going to do. We're going to activate one of our Desires. Target one monster. Now we'll get rid of this. And then we want the Familiar so that we can activate Familiar now. Activate Familiar. Hopefully we can... Yep, we can send this card to the graveyard. Defense mode. Activate the Familiar. We can now bring out... We almost have enough. He almost has enough attack power for us to. He almost has enough attack power for us to take his monster with our Vampire Suck. Vampire Vamp, I think is what it's called. So we're just going to tribute this one. So here's how the combo is supposed to work. Okay, here's how it's supposed to work. Activate this. And then we tell him to send a spell card to the graveyard. He's running a lot of spells, it seems. We want him to get rid of one. Normally you would want to pick Trap card, because if he pulls out a Treacherous, it would basically turn off Treacherous, but I don't see very much room in this type of a deck for a Treacherous. So we'll see. Hopefully whatever he sends doesn't screw me over. I don't think there's too many trap or spell cards that have graveyard power, so we should be good. Yep. So now we get to select the card to destroy, get rid of your equip card, and then we will send another familiar to the graveyard. There we go. And we don't need to, this will give us enough attack to swing over. We might win this one? I don't know. We're going to activate that, so now we can heal up our life points. Just a little bit. 1700. Our opponent has very little ways to overcome this one. 100 life points yet. Let's hope he doesn't pull out some crazy anime moments and bring it back. Ooh, no. Actually, that's not bad. Gonna bring out Silent Magician. Okay, I see. He can't swing over. LOL. Oh, he calculated. He calculated. He wants the big girl to the field. Wants the big girl to the field. I see. Alright, that's kind of rough. That's kind of rough. I don't know how this will play out. This will be a rough one. See what we get with our opening draw. If we open with the... Okay, there's a Cosmic Cyclone. I'm actually going to get rid of Cosmic Cyclone with Switcheroo, because we do not want the Cosmic Cyclone. We want the Vampire Vamp. Ooh, Samurai Skull. That might be useful. Might be useful. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can use that. That will be nice. I don't think I need to. No. Activate this so that we can summon again, and then we'll activate this to summon the Vamp, and we can send the field... We can now send this card to the graveyard in order to bring it out. And now we'll search the Vampire Vamp. This is the big combo. Normal summon it. Yep. Let's go ahead. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Yep. Give it to me. Suck up your monster. Let's go. Battle. 55. 6,000 damage. Holy crap, that's a ton of attack. Just gained 3,500 attack from equipping that monster. Yeah, luckily we had a pretty strong board there. Bandit Keith can use balance? I did not know that. Had a pretty strong board there. Unfortunately, if we didn't have a Vampire Vamp play, our field spell would not affect the level 8 Magician, because it does have the added effect. See, I told you, he's running a bunch of spells. I knew he was running a ton of spells. But yeah, the level 8 Magician has immunity, cannot be... I think it's just literally, yeah, unaffected by spell effects. So... being able to, thankfully, just be suck it up like that with our monster effect is really nice. Vampires are really diverse. They have a lot of ways to deal with almost any deck right now. Unfortunately, like, some of their power can be lacking, but I think for the most part, if you really learn the decks in and out, you might be able to climb to King of Games with this deck. There's a lot of powerful stuff though. It's really difficult. Middle Age Mechs. Do we go first? No, he gets to go first. Ancient Gear Fortress. Face down. Alright, this is gonna be tough. Ancient Gears are tough. So... how does this one work? If this card is destroyed in the spell and trap zone, you can special summon an Ancient Gear monster from your hand. Or graveyard. So I think... I'm pretty confident this guy is going to be the double Cyclone, so he can chain that. I'm going to just get rid of it. He's gonna chain it anyway. Oh, never mind. I guess I should have got rid of this one. Okay. Alright, so let's start popping off. He has no monsters on the field. I think we can just straight up win. So we'll do this. Activate. We'll send the retainer. And we'll activate this again. Send the familiar. Summon the retainer. Pay the 500. Now we'll be able to, I think I just grabbed this Vampire Kingdom. I think it's the play. Because we have the domain, we don't need anything else. Now we can summon the domain. I'm going to activate it early just to be safe. I think I'm just going to send this guy to the graveyard to do this. I should be able to pop. I'm gonna pop the middle one. If I pop the left one, he'll oh, here we go. Activate the field spell. Damn, that was a strong play. Really strong play. We're going to let him get rid of a trap. Get rid of a trap. There you go. Drowning Mirror Force. Get out of here. And then we'll select the middle one, because if I select the one on the left, he can potentially summon another monster. We'll send this one to the graveyard, and let's battle. Oh, we're good. I figured. Dang. And we had that life point gain too. He could have had a Sphere Karibo and potentially not lost that, but looks like that wasn't the case. Literally just an open field, and we attack directly for game. I think we can get 1 or 2 more duels in. Let's see. It depends on how fast they go. Ooh, we got some 50 gems from that. Nice. All of this crazy event stuff going on. So yeah. I was expecting double Cyclone. Most of them run double Cyclone so they can destroy their own card and get their effects going. Because that's kind of the way that that deck plays. You want to destroy the field spell and the fortress in order to get your monsters from your hand or deck. Namely Reactor Dragon, because Reactor Dragon is pretty crazy. Oh, this is a win. Win and we'll gain a rank. 26 card deck, that's very interesting. Wonder what he's playing. This hand is not ideal, but you might be able to make it work. Maybe. We can get the Grimson onto the field. Ooh, Steel Swarms. Ooh. Desire. Face down is kind of iffy. See what he got. Okay, the face down is activatable. You can see the timer. That means he's making a decision. I wish we had the Cosmic Cyclone. That would have been really nice. I'm not really sure how I want to make this, or what I want to make happen here. So we can send a familiar with a familiar. So I think we're going to activate Desire. I think we'll activate Desire. This one's a little tough. I haven't played a Steel Swarm deck. I'm not really sure what to expect here. Ooh! I didn't mean to send the Grace. That was rough. If only I had my Synchro monster, or my Tuner monster, I could Synchro summon Zombie Necro Dragon. That would have been nice, but unfortunately, I literally just made the worst misplay I could ever imagine. Well, we can activate that now, too. So that's not like an Econ or a Monster Destroyer. Ooh. So this will be kind of rough. We're going to have to protect ourselves here. So we're going to just end our turn here. We don't have anything that we can do. We'll see what his face down does. He should be capable of... He can destroy this, but we can protect. Again, thankfully Grimson might save us with this duel. That huge misplay. Can't believe that I made that misplay. The Vampire Kingdom artwork's pretty nice. I like most of the vampire art. This guy looks edgelord to the extreme. Alright, let's... Oh, he's tributing again? What does this do? Tribute summon, pay 1,000 life points, target 2 cards your opponent controls, return those targets to the hand. No! That bypasses everything! No, I had protection. And now I actually... Ooh, this is rough. This is rough. 2,400. Does he have something that can like turn this into a win? Okay, we have 1,100 life points left. And this is where some of the vampire stuff, like I said, can be very hard to deal with. Samurai Skull, that's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Okay, we're gonna activate this first. I want to send this guy. So we have to go, I feel like we have to go all out here. I can't risk... I don't think I can really risk anything. So I think I want to go for the Vampire Vamp play. Because if I try to go with Grace... Well, I think either way, if he has something that can shut me down, we're just kind of screwed. But I think taking the Vamp is the way to go here. I think taking Vamp's the way to go here. They're going to normal summon the Samurai Skull. I'm going to say yes. If he can destroy these, ooh, that's gonna be bad. If he was smart, he would wait for everything. Because we don't have... Like, if he has a Treacherous or something, we're just kind of screwed. What do you got back there that's so activatable? Yeah, wait for me to go down to 100. If he activates something, we just lose. Alright, normal summon. Let's go. Yes. Give me your monster. Alright. Hopefully it's nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Give me your monster. 44. Battle. Oh, baby. Let's go. Let's go. The vampire sucked, dude. He was holding on to whatever that card was. I'm really curious now. That needs to be, even through the misplay, vampires brought it back. I'm really happy that I was able to regain my composure and get the show off the deck. We lost a couple, but I think we just lost that one actually. And that was a really good deck. The Desperado Dragon's a good deck. And as you can see, 3 wins in a row. If you like, once you get the hang of how the combos work and the managing of your life points, this deck can really pop off against most players or most other decks. Really good. So he probably had something like this one maybe? Something he can summon from the graveyard? Yeah, okay. Thankfully it wasn't a Drowning Mirror Force. I would have known if it was drowning, but yeah, because drowning, it wouldn't have he wouldn't have been able to do stuff, like have the option, that little the icon up there, the hourglass icon would not be activating, and you wouldn't feel the pauses if it was a drowning. But yeah, so that's the vampire deck for you guys there. It's a really fun deck. I hit King of Games with it for like 2 months, whenever it was back when it was the actual best deck in the game, or one of the best decks in the game. Right now, it's not the best. There's obviously a lot stronger cards, but I think as a rogue deck, I think it can hit King of Games. I think you can easily surprise some of your opponents, get the hang of how your cards play. Don't send Grace to the graveyard when you're trying to use your Samurai Skull or one of your effects. But once you get the hang of all those, which monsters to destroy, which moments to use Vamp, to use your Grace and all that stuff, I think it can be very powerful and definitely really fun for the most part. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Again, if you want to see some of your decks, we'll be hitting the reset for the season very soon. I think it's actually the end of today that I'm recording this. I think I'll be uploading this the same day I recorded, so you might see this, but I think we'll be going back to gold, unfortunately. Or not gold, but silver. So if you want to see a couple of fun decks before I start like just hardcore hitting the grind, definitely leave a comment below and let me know. If you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content, definitely hit that bell icon and subscription in order to be notified when my videos go live. I'm trying to keep a better upload schedule, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for Duel Links, for sure. I didn't do Duel Links on last Friday because I uploaded one of my Legacy videos, but I'll also be doing more Legacy the Duelist content, some PvP in that as well as some of the story modes. So be on the lookout for those throughout this week. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Later.